and Trump dead last. Look, Lisa, where to begin? This is infuriating in so many ways.
Donald Trump has just been ranked as the worst president in the history of the world, or at least in terms of the U.S. So I'm going to go over these rankings and get to how Fox News is a little bent out of shape about this. Here is the headline from The Guardian. Donald Trump ranked as worst U.S. president in history, with Joe Biden at 14th. And another way to put this is how Fox News framed this story. New presidential rankings place Obama in top 10, Reagan and Trump below Biden. Where's Trump? I don't know, but he's below Biden somewhere. Just don't worry about it. It's burying the lead here, as Fox News, of course, for obvious reasons, is. But this was a survey of 154 scholars that placed Trump at 45th, last place. Now, this is the full list. So, it's important to note here. This is not a list bestowed to us, by the almighty gods. This is just the opinion of some scholars that are political science scholars. So they have a certain perspective that you may or may not agree with, depending on where your favorite president ranks here. Like, we'll get to Reagan later. Reagan in the top, anywhere near, the top 40 is ridiculous, but I'll get to that later. But, Lincoln, FDR, Washington, okay. There's no exact science here, is my point. Like, it's all just opinions based on people that are political scientists. Now, most of them, these scholars are connected to the American Political Science Association, and their idea was to create a ranking of presidential greatness, which also, it's important to point out here, you see the changes. So this list has changed from year to year, depending on how people are feeling that year about a certain president or where the certain sentiments are. They mentioned Andrew Jackson, there being more of a spotlight on his history and why he's gone down the list because of that. So, it can change depending on the year, depending on what people are talking about. It's, again, not an exact science here. On Trump, though. So Trump is a uniquely divisive figure. His legislative record slim, his refusal to accept defeat by Biden leading to a deadly attack on Congress, and his post-presidential career dogged by 91 criminal charges arising from actions in office or on the campaign trail. Which also, I think, goes to maybe why he is last. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be last, but the fact that this is being done in a year where Trump is facing all these charges, this is going to be more top of mind for people making this list. In the presidential survey, Trump is also ranked behind, quote, such lowlights as Franklin Pierce, Warren Harding, and this is my favorite, William Henry Harrison, who died a mere 31 days after taking office. Trump ranks below William Henry Harrison. Now, this is where we get to the Fox News reaction. They're not very happy about this.
A new ranking, and I'm going to add, in my view, a highly questionable ranking of presidents, is turning heads after Biden came in higher than both Donald Trump and Ronald Reagan in his wildest dreams. The survey was done by the Presidential Greatness Project, who claim to be the foremost organization of social science experts in presidential politics. They may be the foremost example of the disconnect between ivory tower academia and real people. That aside, Abe Lincoln ranked first. Okay, fair. Then comes Obama at 7th, and Biden came in 14th, actually beating Ronald Reagan, who came in 16th, and Trump dead last. Look, Lisa, where to begin? This is infuriating in so many ways. 154 respondents. They are the ivory tower elites who in no way represent the view of the American people.
Oh, yes, the ivory tower elites. Not like Kayleigh McEnany. No. She went to Harvard Law School. Little known Harvard Law School. Unbelievable. The ivory tower elites. Whenever you hear any conservative on television complain about the ivory tower elites, just go and look up where they went to school. Very likely they went to Yale or Harvard. And that goes for politicians as well. So it's just this show they put on for people. Oh, we are for the real Americans, not those ivory tower elites. Unbelievable. She also went, by the way, to Oxford. So, long list of elitism in Kayleigh McEnany. Now, I got one more clip here because they get really bent out of shape, not even necessarily about Trump being last, but about Reagan being where he is.
You're telling me Ronald Reagan, who brought us peace and prosperity, inherited a mess out of Carter, and only his administration brought down the friggin' Soviet Union, that he ranks lower than Joe Biden, who has given us high food prices, high gas prices, an open border, educational test scores at a 30-year low. The world seems like it's on fire because it is, and all the crime we've talked about in major cities. You're going to rank him above Reagan?
All right. So Reagan. Now, first, it's important to point out that he is getting really angry over the fact that Reagan is in 16th place. It's not really all that far back. Also, again, this is the opinion of some people. You don't have to agree with it. It's not worth getting worked up over either way. On Reagan, though, it's important to note that there were some elements of Reagan that would be considered way too far left now, especially by the Republican Party. For example, amnesty for all illegal immigrants. Imagine Democrats trying to do this, let alone Republicans trying to do this. This is, even though I wouldn't consider this left wing, this is just humane in my opinion, but this would be considered too far left now. That said, if you want to truly understand why wealth inequality is so bad, why wages are so low, just go back to Ronald Reagan. Neoliberalism and Ronald Reagan at the head of it is really what kickstarted everything. This is one example, and the preceding events that came after this. So he described, first of all, big labor as a major problem in the U.S. And he led the actor strike 21 years earlier. Then in August 1981, he, in office just 6 months, he fired 11,500 striking air traffic controllers. He barred them from working in their old jobs or anywhere in the Federal Aviation Administration for the rest of their lives. His administration also formally decertified their union, the Professional Air Traffic Controllers Organization. Reagan's response to the PACO strike was unprecedented in the post-World War II period. It had a chilling effect on the fortunes of unions and working conditions, contributing to ongoing wage stagnation and the loss of various forms of leave and entitlements. Reagan is the only union leader to serve as U.S. president. Paradoxically, he was also one of the most aggressively anti-union presidents of the 20th century. And that led to this massive split between the share of income going to the top 10% and union membership. As union membership declined after 1981, massive decline here, the share of the income going to the wealthy increased. Less money in the pockets of average people because of what Reagan did. And this goes directly to, the Trump base. Drop in union membership has taken $58 weekly out of the wages of non-union working men without a college degree. So Trump loves the poorly educated. It's conservative policies that he is pushing. This top-down approach, this trickle-down economics that has led to this massive split between the wealthy and everybody else. It's neoliberalism. And by the way, which was also continued by Bill Clinton and has continued on. So, no one is innocent here, but it's worth noting that Reagan was the beginning of all of this. 16th place is much too high for Ronald Reagan, in my opinion. But again, this is a list made by a bunch of opinions of political scholars. It doesn't mean you have to get too worked up about it. It's just funny to see Fox News, go crazy over the fact that their dear leader, Donald Trump, is in last place.